Hello everyone, this is Crossfire. Welcome to another tutorial on Unity 3D and Playmaker. And today we're gonna look at uh, some fixes that we left off yesterday. I mean, the last tutorial, uh, and we're gonna set up a nice scene, a better scene than this. So let's just organize things. First of all, let's just add a game object and name it cubes, say crates, and just drag all these cubes which have their rigid body component on into the crate section. So let's select all these. Ouch. So this is shift and yeah, so drag all these into the crate, and there we go. So we have a combination. So make these to make your hierarchy look better. I mean, you can access anything from the hierarchy in that way. So we have walls, so let's create another game object called walls and just drag all these inside these. We have plane 1, 2 and 3. So we're gonna create an empty game object and name it platforms. So we have plane 1, plane 2 and plane 3. Now that way it looks organized. And so coming back to where we left off, we have created our health bar for our player, but we had a problem that it was scaling down to the center. I mean, it doesn't exactly do the work which we want. So let's just create a UI component and say image. So we have this thing right here and put this to red. Make sure that let's just disable the health bar which we created in the last episode, and just make this a little bit smaller. Let's say 50. Okay, 50 is too much. Let's say 30. Yeah, so that is doing well. And now we need to set the pivot to the left, and see when I scale it down. Okay, that's not gonna work, I guess. So we can do it either way. We can create an empty game object, and yeah, now we have this image right here, game object. Bring it to the edge of our image and bring it out of the image. Ouch. Okay, so now parent the image to the game object, and you can see that it's kind of a little bit working, but not completely good. Okay, it's working fine. So that's what exactly we want, right? So we'll keep this to say 1, and No, actually I'll increase the scale of the game object to 1.5, I guess. So now let's go into the script of the health bar, and we have a variable which is a global, so it converts the okay, this is basically what we want. We are going to copy this FSM and paste it to this and set the scale back to 1 to just that it works fine like it should. So we'll call this health. So let's hit play and test our little health bar right here. So we should be able to fall onto the low ground on our right, and the player should experience a hurt, and we have the hurt canvas as well. But as you can see, there is a problem right here, and okay, let's go to global variables, and you can see that the value of the health is set to 100. It converted the integer, which is 100, to a float, then it multiplied. Okay, maybe this shouldn't be. Okay, maybe that's okay, I messed the platform. That's more sarcastic. So this float multiplier right here is, I said that 0.01 as far as I remember. So let's see if that will work. Okay, you can see that. Hope I don't jump. Yeah, see, you can see that it was reduced and it was static. It didn't go, scale down from the two ends. It got only scale down from one side of it. So that's a basic health bar, and you can modify it as you like, and you can change it to 0.02, I guess. Maybe it does work the same as far as I know. Everything is in your control, so that is basically what you should be concerned. So we have a longer health bar, and if I jump, I got hurt, and the thing we miss is just a sound that the player got hurt. So that's basically what we will, we miss. So we have this scene right here. We fix the thing, and now we will look at one thing. We will make a flashlight and make our player pick that up. So let's go to Pro Builder and let's go to cylinder. Okay, this should do fine, and hit build. We are going to remove the static thing so that it doesn't calculate the light map. So we need to put this to 0, 0, and there we go. So this will be our torch. It doesn't look like one, but let's make it look like a torch. Light. So that is basically going good. Make sure that it goes plain. It doesn't. Okay, no need of fancy stuff. Let's just I hope that's fine for a flashlight. Yikes. Okay, so we can extrude this. A little bulge, and now that's perfect, isn't it? We have a torchlight, and we'll add a small effect at the end. For the batteries, I guess. That's where our batteries would go. So if I go inside there, okay, that's too much detail, I guess, for a simple flashlight. Or we'll just make this like this. But this exactly is not the size of a flashlight. And we hopefully will be scaling it down and putting it to the player, and we will make the scene dark as possible. The thing with making things dark is set the intensity to 0 and set this rotation to -50, and you can see nothing, absolutely nothing. So that's the basic thing for horror oriented games. So let's take the lighting off. I mean, this looks kind of weird for the front part. Maybe I could just modify it. Okay, so now it looks good. And I'm going to merge all these faces so that it doesn't look that weird. So I'll go to merge faces, and we have it. We have our flashlight. So this flashlight is a mover entity. If you have a flashlight model, I mean, if you're not using Pro Builder, you could directly use you can do a cylinder, and maybe use a basic sphere for the tip. So that's going to be that should look like something like this. I mean, this is just for explanation. You can model anything and put that inside Unity, right? So just make use of anything. Just ignore me building all the playable stuff if you. Okay, this, I'll rename this to flashlight, and that is not enough. Flashlight base, and this should possibly be facing it should I mean, and the directions are important when you deal with this. So let's parent the flashlight base, and we have the direction set up. So let's just go to project and go to prefabs and just drag this inside the prefabs so that we have the flashlight, and now we can basically proceed with proceed with the scene. So as you can see in the game view, you cannot look, you cannot see anything. That's because we turned down the direction light to, the sun is down, so that's the basic thing. So this will be our flashlight. I'll add a widget body component to it and a basic box collider, and I'll remove this mesh collider, or just leave it like that. I'll copy this component to the flashlight. Otherwise, we don't want the parent and the child to be at two different points at the same time, so let's just keep that in mind and just let us test it. I'll bring this back to 50 and I'll go to game and I will hit play to see whether the flashlight is using physics, and it is. So that is basically very impressive. Bye. Just kidding. Okay, so we will be adding a material to this ASAP. Let's go to materials and we'll add the same material as the gun, which would look good on this, I guess. So okay, that looks good for a flashlight. So now we will add a pickup script for this flashlight. So that is going to be, okay, first of all we need our mouse to be locked. For just go to Playmaker GUI, I guess. Yeah, and you can see control mouse cursor, that is right here, and just make sure that it is enabled, and you need to just create a dummy game object and say cursor lock and just add an FSM that says set mouse cursor and just set the cursor texture to none and hide cursor and lock cursor. And if you save it and play, you can see our cursor has disappeared. So what exactly, where exactly the cursor is at the center of the screen. So that is basically, if you press escape and go up to the screen, you can see that the cursor appears, and you can set this up by key down, and this is basically for making the cursor appear again. So let's send event, show cursor, and just add that event. So it's going to be the same. We need all the actions inside this to be copied inside this. So it should unhide the cursor and not lock the cursor. So let's save it and delete this transition, and now you can see that if I press escape, the game would show my cursor, and if I press escape again, it would be locked. So that is just for like when you are making the game. That is not necessary for ouch. Okay. Okay. So it's working fine. You can't see your cursor, and now let's get back to the flashlight base and add an FSM. That says mouse pick event. And this is basically when you look at the center of the camera is pointing at a certain object. So that is basically this one, mouse pick event. And use collider, use the collider of the object which has the mesh. Ouch. So let's lock this. Scene flashlight, so this one, and when it is over, when the center of the screen is over the flashlight, you can send an event. You can add any name to the event. It's totally random. So I will send an event. Ouch. And this state will say, if you press E, that is get key down. E is basically the general key to interact with the world inside a game. So let's finish this event when when E is pressed, and the state 3 is flashlight attained. I mean, the flashlight becomes the parent of the camera and the gun goes down. So the gun is disabled basically. So we need an animation for the gun. So let's, I mean, we didn't even touch the animation section of this tutorial series, so I'll just do that in this same episode. So get key down E, will send an event, and this will destroy the game object. Yeah, it will destroy self, and it will trigger the player to have attained the flashlight. So the flashlight is enabled in the player's camera section. So we'll just add a flashlight here as well, and for that I'll copy this, and that is going to be later because we will be solving this most big event, and we'll just paste that here. Mouse off will be sent to the first state, and we will be debugging this. I mean, we will be testing this, so you can see what state is being, I mean, highlighted. So now the center of the screen is you can see that I am pointing my camera directly to the flashlight, and it is in state 2 because it said mouse over, send the state to state 2, and when I look off it goes to state 1. So that is basically working fine, and when I hit E it will destroy the flashlight. So that is basically the thing. And now we need a message to the player that the flashlight has been picked up. So we will just create a text, I guess, and for that we will go to the canvas again and create a UI element which is a text, and we'll go to the text and say flashlight acquired. Acquired, sorry if the spelling is wrong. And this is going to be the message that pops up. So we will be using some other text, I guess. Okay, this looks good. So this will be popping up, and we will add an animation to this so that it doesn't look so static. So we'll say animation text fade out or something like that. We'll go to assets and go to animations. I'll create a new folder and I'll say texts, and this text fade out animation. Ouch. Okay, so we'll add property, transform, position, Okay, this is position X, right? Okay, I'll go with position Z. That's weird because I can't see. Okay, only position X and Y are being used. Okay, so we can see anchored position. Thank God. I'll set them back to 0 and 0 here as well. And I'm gonna copy this to here, and I'm gonna change the Y as well. So this will be 0 and this will be minus 50, and as it goes up it fades, so it's going to be text color, and in color we will be animating the alpha. So 1 2, this will be 0 right here. So that is a nice effect, right? So that is basically how fade out is animated. And let's just save the scene and just apply the animation to this. Just delete the animator and add a component which is animation clip, and we need to mark the animation type as legacy, and we'll go to text and text feed out, go to debug legacy. Ouch. Okay, so that is the basic fix for this. And you can see this text is flashlight acquired, so this will be off and it shouldn't play automatically. It should have the animation of sorry for that, it should have the animation of fade out, and that should be the only animation that should play. So we'll go back to flashlight base and destroy itself. Then we are going to activate game object, activate game object, which will be our flashlight text. Flashlight. Okay, that is a problem. Flashlight base, flashlight. Okay, flashlight. I'll just name this flashlight text so that we can identify it from the original flashlight. Text. Okay, that's not happening. That has something to do with, why is it? Okay, now it's saved, and let's go back to flashlight text. Now we need it to be activated, and That's it. So, and play animation. Of the text. Of the flashlight text. And the animation name is text fade out. And make sure that the animation is only once wrap mode. And after the animation is played, which is 1 second, so it will wait for 1 second and it destroys okay, finish. So that is going to be finish from this state, and this will be destroy game object, or say destroy, yeah, object. Go to scene and say text. So that is the complicated weird script I got for my flashlight. So let's test it out. Hello there, I'm gonna pick you up. And that is weird. That is too weird. What happened to it? Okay, wait a second. This thing is not at all good. I mean, not at all logical. Yeah. So now it should be good because it destroyed itself before anything. So yeah. So that is basically what we'll be doing and what we have done, except the position of the flashlight text was weird. So this, I'm gonna copy the vector transform and I'm gonna paste the same values so that they start at the bottom and go up while they fade out. So final test for, yeah, so that is good. You can tweak the text, you can change anything which we have done. And now, okay, so in the next tutorial we will be looking at how to parent the flashlight to the main camera and how to use it, how to make light come out and use the directional light to tweak absolute darkness and do this and basically make a spotlight so that way our player can see what's in front of him. Something like this would work out for our player. So catch you in the next tutorial. I'm going to be uploading the whole project file, I mean related project files to a Dropbox, I guess. So I'm going to be pasting the link in the description below, and make sure that you get it all, and please comment in the comment section below if you have any doubt regarding this. and make any request based on Playmaker and Unity, and I will make sure that you won't miss it. So thank you. This is Crossfire signing out. So see you in the next tutorial.